hope you're having a great day and I hope you had a great weekend. Today I want to talk about a simple drink that you and I can make at home to stimulate the health of our liver. You see, there's a lot of stuff where people say you can have liver detoxes and all of that stuff. It's not always completely true because we need to understand how toxins in the body accumulate, number one, and number two, what a cleanse or a detox really is. Today, the drink that I teach you to make, many of us may be doing it in our own little ways, but there's a particular science behind it and a reason why we do it. The liver is one of the most important organs in the human body. People don't understand its importance. You know, when it comes to fat loss, when it comes to metabolism, when it comes to digestion, when it even comes to constipation, hormonal balance, and the health of the thyroid. It's all interconnected with each other, and that's where a lot of our system of healthcare breaks down because we separate everything. Someone with a heart problem is only looked through the lens of having a heart problem. Someone with a kidney problem, you only look at everything to do with the kidney. But everything in the human body is interdependent. Every function of every organ has an interdependency on one another. So when you understand today, so many people out there with a hormonal imbalance and they're just popping pills and doing things without looking at the relevance of the liver. Or you look at a Hashimoto's thyroid and you don't even consider looking at the liver. Or you look at a normal hypothyroid or a hyperthyroid problem and you just treat the thyroid without looking at the liver. Or you're putting people on diet plans to lose weight and lose fat without looking at the health of the liver. One of the biggest issues we have in India are gallbladder surgeries. Of course, if there's a right reason to do a surgery, you should do the surgery. But a lot of people who are detected with gallstones are immediately told to go and do a surgery. It's not entirely right. You need to understand, number one, what's the root cause? You cut off the gallbladder, but you still have the primary problem of the liver, the production of bile. So today, when you're looking at all of these things, the drink that I tell you about helps you in two ways. It helps you produce the right amount of bile. Most people don't produce the right amount of bile. How would you know if you don't produce the right amount of bile? Again, one of the biggest problems in India is a fatty liver, a non-alcoholic fatty liver. Okay, a lot of people say there are no medicines. Of course, there are no medicines to improve fatty liver. It is purely lifestyle. But because there are no medicines to improve fatty liver, they tell you that there's nothing you can do about it. But there's a lot that you can do about it. You can reverse. You can come down from a grade 3 to a grade 2. You can come down from a grade 2 to a grade 1 and to a mildly fatty liver and even no fat in your liver. What is a fatty liver? There is fat in your liver. Now that doesn't sound like a good thing. You're not supposed to have fat in the liver. When you have fat in the liver, this is what's going to happen to you. Okay? You're not going to be able to produce the right amount of bile. If you can't produce the right amount of bile, there are many things that happen. For example, okay, your bile has an enzyme that converts the inactive T4 to T3, which is required for your thyroid. If you cannot convert T4 to T3, you have hypothyroidism. There are many other reasons why you have a thyroid problem, but this is one of the biggest issues. You don't convert T4 to T3. That conversion happens in the liver. So now everyone who's only been treating their thyroid by looking at only the thyroid, you're missing out a big part, which can potentially reverse your thyroid problem in most cases by including a protocol for your liver. So if you have a fatty liver, what buffers testosterone and estrogen in the human body? Your liver. So if the buffering of testosterone and estrogen has gone wrong because you have a problem with your liver, you have a cirrhotic liver, you have high liver enzymes, or you have a fatty liver, guess what? It's affecting your hormonal balance. So whether you have estrogen dominance or you have low testosterone, which is linked to everything, from osteoporosis to belly fat to endometrial issues to low libido to the inability to build muscle, you don't consider your liver in the entire protocol. And that's what holistic medicine does. It looks at every part of the human body because they're all interconnected. If you don't have the right amount of bile, you're always going to feel hungry because the function of bile is to extract fat from the food that you eat. If you're not extracting fat from the food that you eat, you never turn on a hormone called leptin, which is the satiety hormone that sends a signal to your brain, hey, enough, you're full. But you go on and on and on eating. You have deficiencies of vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin E, and vitamin K. And all these deficiencies come with their own problems, from bones to skin to autoimmune conditions to eye health, the dryness, the heart problems. Simple deficiencies cause the biggest problems in human health, all because we miss out on looking at one simple thing called bile. The formation of gallstones is the insufficient production of bile by the liver. So basically, if you have the right amount of bile, most people will never ever form gallstones in the first place. But we want to cut off the gallbladder immediately, which may medically be the right reason for many cases, but not all the cases. And we miss the root cause of the problem, which is probably a fatty liver and insufficient bile. A lot of people, in the desperation to lose weight, go on these fad weight loss programs that make them eat less fat. You need fat to produce bile. Or people who are on statins have a bigger problem. Statins block the production of cholesterol, but cholesterol is needed to make bile, which in turn is needed for digestion, for every aspect that we just spoke about. So you see, when we as human beings try to interfere with the very intelligence balance that is required in every organ of the body, we have problems. We have problems. We can treat the symptom, but we should never forget to address what the root cause of the problem is. Now, the drink that I give you today is very simple. It helps you to stimulate bile. Now, there's one thing about this particular drink. If you have heavy gallstones and you are in line for surgery, you will not do this particular drink. But after the removal of your gallbladder, maybe 4 to 5 weeks or maybe 2 months later, you can slowly introduce this particular drink. Because remember, just because you don't have a gallbladder doesn't mean that you don't produce bile. This is where most people get confused. The liver produces bile. The gallbladder stores bile in a more concentrated form, which is then used for the breakdown of your food into fat, extraction of fat. So you can live without a gallbladder. Of course, there are many lifestyle changes you got to make post that. The drink is very simple. Okay, all you need to do, a glass of warm water, a pinch of ginger powder. If you don't want to use dry ginger powder, you can take like a half-inch piece of ginger and you can squeeze the fresh juice out of that ginger. Okay, you can add it to this glass that has a little bit of lemon. So squeeze a lemon, a pinch of ginger or 1/4 teaspoon of ginger juice, 1/2 teaspoon of turmeric powder, and a pinch of black pepper. Now, what you would also add to this is a teaspoon of extra virgin olive oil. Extra virgin olive oil. It's the only oil that you can use in this particular mix. All right. It is optional for you to use raw honey for taste, but I would prefer that if you're a fatty liver patient, that you do not do raw honey with this drink. It's only optional. Okay. So this is one drink. I'm going to repeat the recipe right now. Warm water or hot water. It's up to you. Squeeze a little bit of lemon. You can have maybe 1/2 teaspoon or 1 teaspoon of lemon juice. Okay, or you can use lime juice. It doesn't matter. Okay, 1/2 teaspoon of turmeric powder, a pinch of black pepper, a pinch of dry ginger powder, or 1/4 teaspoon of fresh ginger juice added to this, and a teaspoon of extra virgin olive oil. Mix it up. It doesn't taste bad at all, and drink it. Empty stomach first thing in the morning. Now you can make a juice. Let's say you don't like this. And this is my favorite, where you take beetroot, it can be raw beetroot, and you make a beetroot juice, and you can add the same ingredients as the previous drink I gave you to the beetroot juice. Because beetroot is also excellent to stimulate bile. Now, like I said, if you're lined up for a gallbladder surgery, or you've just been detected with heavy gallstones and you're waiting for your doctor's appointment and you don't yet know the course of your treatment, avoid this drink. For everyone else, remember, sometimes you suffer from indigestion, acidity, a lot of bloating after your meals. A lot of that is also due to insufficient bile. Because if you don't have the right amount of bile, you're not able to digest foods that contain fat. Another symptom is whenever you have fatty foods or deep fried foods and you find that your digestions become very sluggish and very, very slow, and it's like the food is sitting in your stomach for a long time, it's because you don't have the right amount of digestive enzymes to break down fat. So bile mixes with lipase. Lipase is an enzyme that is secreted by your pancreas. Together, they break down and extract fat from the food that you eat. So you have a problem anywhere in this mechanism, you have all of these problems. And if you have insufficient bile, that is the easiest way to form gallstones. So that's how simple the drink is to make. Okay, it takes a little bit of effort, but like I said, a lot of people, you may just say that, hey, look, I don't have any of these symptoms. Yeah, maybe a little bit of digestive issues and stuff like that. There is no harm in doing this drink for a week and seeing if it improves. Because if it improves, then you now know that you had low bile in the first place. And people who are on statins, this drink is very, very effective for you because you don't have cholesterol to produce the right amount of bile, which is why a lot of people on statins also end up having a lot of digestive issues, muscle spasms, pigmentation of the skin. So you need to understand, this is one of the best drinks for a fatty liver. Okay, over and above this drink, it's not going to take away your fatty liver. You got to exercise, you got to cut down your carbohydrates and processed foods and sugar. You got to sleep well, you got to look after your emotional wellness. It's always about a holistic approach. Have a great day, everyone. Until next time, eat smart, move more, sleep right, breathe deep. And remember, you care is all about you.